Are you a housewife who has been pre-panicking over the end of the Ellen show? Do you have penciled in ideas for ways to spend that hour of your day, none of which excite you? Have you been rage ranting to friends and family about what social media tells you to be offended by, to the reaction of eye rolls and walkouts? Have I got the solution for you? Before you shrug your shoulders and keyboard threaten me, yes, I have yet another self-help book to sell you.
You're not a woman unless you marry a good-looking man who has a prestigious job, produce 3 beautiful children, flaunt the American dream life you're not living on social media to shame your lazy friends, family, and neighbors, all while crying on your deflated earbed about how your over-the-limit charge card is such a dream killer. Oh, and don't forget, you must look cute all the while.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamika, and whether you are here by intention or accident, thank you for stopping by Junkie for a story. If you should like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe by the end. Also hit the notifications so you can be updated whenever I release a new video. Now let's get into this book, Body Work by Melissa Febos. Is it Febos? I don't know. Okay, so this is the radical power of personal narrative. Now, I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, and I myself am not interested in memoir writing, but I was just curious because of her background, and she is quite explicit in talking about her background. She was a former sex worker and also struggled with drug addiction in her past. And then Melissa Febos has since gotten herself together and went on to become a professor. She is an associate professor at the University of Iowa, and she has written several works that have been published. So this book, The Body Work, is an essay collection. And I remember when I was reading the first, I think it was just the introduction or the author's note. Okay. Was it the author's note? No, it wasn't the author's note. Okay, so this collection consists of 4 essays. And I was reading the first essay titled In Praise of Navel Gazing. And I remember thinking, okay, this book is not for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad book. It just means it's not for me, which is okay. But then I started to not even finish it because I knew it wasn't for me. But then when I got to the end of, I want to say it was the end of the first essay, or I may have read into the second essay, which is Mindfuck. I don't know where it happened, but a shift happened that made me see who Melissa Febos was writing this book for. So she talks about the personal narrative and how your personal story and life experience is worth telling. Now, I would say if you are a writing major or an English major, this is not the book for you. Like, this is, I believe it's shelved in the writing crafts section, but it's not I would say don't go into it thinking it's a how-to book. It's not going to teach you how to, although, I mean, does any book teach you how to, right? But we can, argue about that all day. But still, the point is, like, if you're looking for a how-to book, this is not the book. This is more anecdotal, and she dedicates this to her students, but it's more on a level of, it does feel conversational, like she's talking to you one-on-one and just telling you how to sort of build your story to be a publishable book. But she goes into intimate details about how to write sex, about how to write about real life people without being offensive, or if you need to take away, you should do so, because she did make a point of saying that once you write real life people in your story, you basically have the last word, because it's on page, for everyone to see. So that was an interesting fact that I didn't think about, but I don't write about real life people, so I guess that's why I didn't think about it. But she does bring up some great points in here. And yeah, so it's in the third essay, titled "A Big Shitty Party: 6 Parables of Writing About Other People." So she talks about, writing about former lovers and former clients, sex clients, and how she has regrets now, but she learned her lesson about how it affected the other people, and so she will handle it with better care the next time around. But I think this is a book I would say it's for the woman who maybe doesn't consider herself a writer, but has a unique story that could help others in a similar situation. I would say this is for that person who is talking themselves out of writing a book, but they don't realize how special their story is. So if you have that person in your life, I would give them this book, because it says that it's a master class in memoir writing, but I don't know if I would call it that. But I do think this is a special book for a particular audience. Again, it's not for me, and I wouldn't recommend it to someone who is a writing or English major, or even just someone who is confident in their writing. I wouldn't recommend this for. This is for that person who has hesitations and maybe lacks the confidence to think they can write a book, or feels like, who am I to write a book? I would say this book is for them, and I would get this book for them. If I had someone in my life who went through a traumatic experience, or just some type of unique experience that I think is worth writing about, that could help others in that situation, I would recommend this book for that person. And it's a short book. It's 200 and something pages. Again, it's 4 essays. No, actually it's less than 200 pages. But yeah, it's 4 essays. And I think the first essay, it sounds like she revised it, because it was published somewhere else previously, and then it does sound like she revised it a little bit, In Praise of Navel Gazing. But there are some interesting stories in here, and she also talks about philosophy and psychology and how that played a role in the inferiority of women. And yeah, there's just it's a light glaze of some topics to all to say your personal story is valid and worthy of being told, and get to writing. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I just felt the need to talk about this book. I know it does have that self-helpy kind of tone to it, and I know people are sick of that, but I will say it is worth a read for that person that I mentioned. Thank you again for listening and watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.